Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Hampson. I'm a professional working artist here in Australia, and over the course of the next couple of episodes I'm going to show you how I bring this painting from complete nothing to what it is now. So I really just wanted to make this so other artists can get a little bit of either a helping hand or a new idea or a new way to approach landscapes, or some new teachings that they can implement into their own paintings. Something to really bring a lot of value to people. So I captured the entire process, every single brush stroke, every color I mix. It's all on camera, all going to be in the next coming episodes. All this information's for free. Everything's just so that you can get a lot of value from it and take it away and implement it into your own paintings. Hopefully you enjoy this entire process, and I'm just gonna get into it. Okay, so just as it starts, you'll see me gessoing up the board, the panel behind you, while I talk. So what I'm doing here is I'm gessoing it up so that my canvas is a lot smoother than what it would normally be. So I'm working on a 10-ounce cotton canvas, and then you can see me sanding down that gesso. So every time you apply that gesso layer, sand it down, and you get a really nice smooth finished surface. And then here you can see me stain the canvas. So I stain the canvas to get rid of that white, so that I can see my highlights and I can see everything in a nice, like, even sort of tone. It just really helps to stain it so that you don't, because you can't really tell when you put like a light highlight down on a white surface. It's really hard to judge, what that color is. So you can see me here picking out the photo, and so while I'm trying to sort out and find that photo, I just wanted to say that as I get into this, I actually switch lenses, and you'll see the quality go down like a ton, just in the quality of the lens. I switched over to this old, not old, I shouldn't say old, this kit lens type of Sony camera lens, which is like 16 to 15 mil. And when I switched over to it, I just didn't check how good it looked, and just the lens, just made it look kind of dodgy, not the greatest, but whatever. So yeah, just know that that's coming up. But I realized that and I fixed it. You'll probably see it fixed in the next episode, or a bit into the next episode at least. So yeah, just wanted to say that before we get to that part. Anyways. So after I've picked out the photo, I actually took those photos that morning. So I was out at Bateau Bay Beach, and just because we had a phenomenal looking sunrise, and I was like, I'm gonna go grab my camera and run down to the beach. And I've been meaning to paint Bateau Bay Beach for a while, so this is the first of two paintings that I'm gonna do of Bateau Bay Beach. Bateau Beach is like the best beach, honestly, on the Central Coast. And I've been there since I was a little kid, It's exciting to be able to paint it, that's for sure. So as I'm drawing this up, you'll see I'm just doing the most basic sort of drawings. Your drawing should only be a tool in a painting to set you up for the next layer of your first underpainting. It's just a tool, really. It shouldn't be a finished drawing. If you're painting over a finished drawing, you're just wasting so much time. I mean, you can do that if you want to. If you want to do that, you can go ahead. But you're just gonna paint over it. So just keep your drawing nice and rough, and you'll be sweet. Just set it up for the next layer. Get all the information you need out of like the image onto the canvas, and then just start painting, start blocking in. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do here. So I'm just mixing up some of the sky colors that I'm gonna do, because I paint leading up to the next layer. I'm not too concerned at this point how accurate those colors are. I mean, I'll get pretty accurate, but not as accurate as it will be in the final painting. So you see me just block in. I like to use these larger flat brushes. So the larger flats cover a lot more area, obviously, which is great for getting all that first layer down. Once you get that first layer down, hardest part is, first approaching the painting, and then the second hardest part is finishing the painting. So you get one of the hardest parts out real quick when you get a bigger brush in there and just block it all in real easy. It's nice and simple. So once all that sky's blocked in, because I like to work, furthest thing away to closest thing to me. And so now that the sky's blocked in, obviously the furthest thing away, I'm going to move closer to this little mountain range here. Mountain, hill, bush, whatever. And I'm just going to go in and find the darkest darks and put those in, so that when those darkest darks are now put down, it makes it easier to judge those lightest lights, and it really helps mapping out the whole arrangement of the trees and everything. Really just makes your whole painting process a lot easier. Once those darkest darks are down, you can judge your lightest lights so much more easier without any sort of headache. Again, just going heaps blocky. It doesn't really matter too much. Worst thing you can do right now is like get bogged down in doing detail or something right now, which you don't need to do that at all, especially in this first layer of painting. You just want to get the canvas covered, get everything in its right position, build up so that you're ready to go for the next layer. And that's what it should be all about. Is I'm painting so that my next layer I can build upon this layer here. And that should be your mindset for this layer. It's just, okay, I'm blocking it out, I'm just blocking it down, I'm using my long flats or whatever sort of larger brush you're using, just getting all these colors down, getting the values right, getting things in organized, like where they're supposed to be, and then as the layers build up, I'll start to refine. I'll refine and refine and refine, and then the painting will be done, essentially, and that's how you paint. But there's a bit of work between then and now, but whatever. And as you can see me like mixing up some things, I like to pre-mix a lot of my colors before I start painting an area. It helps a ton, really. It just takes all the annoying sort of back and forth from the palette to the canvas away from that, so you can just focus on painting it out. So when you just pre-mix the paint on your palette, you've just saved yourself so much time. So I do that both in the studio and on plein air, so on location, and it just saves so much time and saves you a big headache, so you don't have to ever worry about that, jumping back and forth between the painting and the palette. People have been saying like the paintings created on the palette, and it's absolutely true. So once you utilize that palette to the best of your ability, your painting's going to turn out. Your painting process is going to be a hell yeah, that's for sure. Another thing is you can see me mixing with palette knife. That's something I've been doing because I notice when I mix with my paintbrushes get a little bit. My paintbrushes that I mix with, I notice that they get a lot more frayed, a lot more damaged, a lot more easily than when I mix the colors with my palette knife. So I don't have to worry about grabbing the paint and mixing that together with some more paint with my paintbrush. I can just focus on picking up a little bit of paint and applying that to the canvas instead of having to mix colors together with it. I find that you should probably try this out if you haven't already. Grab a palette knife and start what I'm doing here, just grabbing your colors that you need, that you can see either in the landscape that you're in front of on plein air or from the photo you're in front of. See the colors that you need and start pre-mixing it with your palette knife, and it'll be so much easier. Some people say that it's a bit hard to utilize the palette knife. They find like it gets everywhere. But if you just take your time with it at first, mentally try and keep yourself in one little spot instead of like letting it go everywhere, and you keep practicing that, you're gonna get so much better at it. It's really helped me a ton. So I bring the palette knife now like on plein air, and every time I'm in the studio, whatever I'm doing, that's what I mix with. So you can see me start to mix up some of the water colors. Well, not watercolors, but the colors I'm going to be using for the water. So again, like I said, I'm looking at the colors that I'm going to need. Well, the rough approximate to these colors that I'm going to need, and I'm mixing them, and so I can just go ahead and paint like I am right now. Again, I'm starting with my darkest darks, and then going to lightest lights, or sometimes I go to halftones. I don't know why I do that. It's probably easier if you go like do as I say, not as I do. But it's probably a lot easier if you just go darkest darks to lightest lights, and then go those halftones. But you can see I'm going from darkest darks and then working my way up to the lightest lights. Whatever works for you. You know, there's no cut and dry. This is how you're supposed to do it. But there are ways that make it easier. That's for sure. So again, you know, I'm not getting bogged down on detail. I'm mapping out where these waves are, where the ripples are, kind of, and I'm just getting that done. Just mapping out everything that I need for the next coming layers, and it saves me a lot of headaches rather than putting down a bunch of color and then coming back to the next layer and being like, oh, this isn't in the right spot. It's way more of a hassle to try and fix up that than it is to, you know, get it right the first time and come back and just refine it. The coming back and getting it right the first time, coming back and refining it is always going to be the best route. Save you a bunch of time and save you on the headache tablets, that's for sure. You know, while we're watching me paint, I just feel like I want to talk about what I'm going to be doing with my YouTube and stuff like that. So obviously this is a multi-part painting tutorial, I suppose you could call it tutorial. I suppose, yeah, that's what it is. Multi-part painting tutorial. Like, I just want to focus on bringing as much value as I can, because I know I don't really consider myself like a teacher, but you know, I have knowledge and I've painted a hell of a lot. So if I can pass that on and help somebody else with their painting, that'll be sick. I'll be stoked with that. So yeah, that's what really this multi-part thing and what most of my YouTube videos are going to be about going forward is if I can pass on and help somebody out with their painting, or even somebody that doesn't even know that they like painting, and they watch these videos and they go, oh, well, I think I could do that. Well, then that'll be great. So yeah, if I can just bring value to people like that, that'd be awesome. So if you get something out of this video, just leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you, and that'd be sweet. I'll love to read what you got out of it. Maybe bring it forward going into the next videos. Yeah, or if you have something that would work better, that'd be sick too. Even like comment on some other people's questions or something if you know a better answer than mine, that'd be awesome. I think I kind of in the past, I think I kind of just stopped making the YouTube videos because it felt like I was painting for the videos instead of painting and then doing the videos along with the painting. I feel like I've come to a nice level. What is it, like a year later or something like that? I feel like I've come to a real nice level of my painting and then doing the video on top of that. So I'm not doing the painting for the video, I'm doing the video for the painting. So I feel like I've come full circle in realizing that, and I feel like that's where I can really bring value now. After being through that and getting a clearer headspace, once I've got myself sorted in that headspace, I feel like now I can really bring a lot of value to everybody. through these videos. And hopefully, once all these parts are released, you guys can just sit down and watch them all back to back to back, or however you want to do it. And I'll try and maybe link the reference photo in the comments, and you can follow along my process and follow the reference photo yourself as well, and just paint from that while you watch these videos. That'd be sick. I'd love to see people's paintings from these photos. This photo, see what their painting turns out. Probably turns out a lot better than mine. But yeah, one thing I want to talk about as well is you see me adding these like blue sort of highlights. Water always reflects what's above it, so you see the same blue in the sky. You can just go ahead and put that same blue that you have in your sky on the water, and it's going to match 100% of the time. So you don't really need to think about it too hard. You see your sky, what color is your sky? Okay, I'll put that in the highlights. Real easy trick, you can kind of learn that from doing a lot of plein air stuff. I'm not going to use my lightest light just yet. I'm kind of saved my tonal best for last, as Andrew Tischler would say. if you guys watch Andrew Tischler, saving those tonal best for last. You'll see me using whites, but they're not pure whites. You can't really make it out in these videos. They're kind of dulled down sort of blue, and I kind of push the whites into the other blue colors as well, so that they kind of lose their richness, so that you can just get a nice form to the wave, but not it heaps refined yet. And yeah, I'm still using the long flat. Is really nice. I really like the long flat sort of brush by Rosemary & Co. So I use specifically for this painting the Ivory long flat number 6 by Rosemary & Co. and the Ivory long flat number 4. If you want to get those ones. You don't have to. Whatever works for you. But those are what I'm using for this. Still, the entire blocking stage, I'll just use those 2 brushes. Actually, this is my favorite stage right here. Putting in where the where the water has receded from the sand, but the sand still got the water through it. It's still like nice and wet. I just love the look of that. In a painting, and I love the way that I've seen that being painted in the past. I don't know why, it just looks really sick to me, and it really helps bring that sense of realism into it. If you can capture that nice wetness of the sand, it just by doing that, you capture so much realism in it, and it just brings it across so much. I don't know why or what about it, but it just does, and I just love the look of it. It just looks so sick. And yeah, that's the whole blocking stage pretty much done. Right about now-ish. Just putting in those last little touches, covering up the last bit of the canvas. So this whole blocking stage was done in, I think, one day, across maybe 2 sittings. I took like an hour break or something between it. But this whole blocking stage was done within like 1 day, if that. It's good. It's way better to get the block-in stage just done all at once, rather than taking your time with it. You can take your time with the next couple layers, of course, while you start to refine. But get a good peace of mind just getting the whole blocking stage done in one go. I feel like that's a really good, not only a really good work ethic, but a really good space to put you in for the next coming layers. Once everything's covered, you can really start to refine things a lot easier and look at things more objectively and see things. You're like, maybe I can change that. Well, maybe change this, So, yeah. So seeing some of those dark spots that I might have missed before. But other than that, that's it. That's the whole blocking stage done. I am wrecked. I feel real good to finish that off. So, hope you enjoyed that, and look out for the next couple episodes. Great, so that's part 1 of this multi-part series. I'm still in the process of editing it all together, so I don't know how many parts it's going to be. Maybe if you're watching this more in the future, you know exactly how many parts. But hopefully you gained a lot of value from this episode, and hopefully you continue to get a lot of more value from the rest of the episodes coming forward. Again, really sorry about how the video quality was in this one. Like I said, I changed lenses. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sticking with this lens here, which is a much better lens. In the next couple episodes, you'll see it go back to this lens when I realize that lens was just terrible. So forgive that. Hopefully you still got a lot of value. Hopefully it's still watchable for you. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Please subscribe to my YouTube. Please share it with whoever you feel would gain a lot of value with from this video. And let me know what you thought about this video down in the comments there. I'd love to read it, love to interact, love to answer some questions, even learn some new things. If you notice something that I was doing and you know something that's maybe a bit better, maybe a bit faster, maybe whatever. That'd be great to read, great to interact with. Other than that, thank you so much for coming and watching this video, taking the time out of your day to enjoy it. I really hope it was enjoyable, really hope you gained a lot from it, and I'll see you again in the next one.